These aren't fallen angels causing chaos. These are heaven's elite carrying out divine justice. Yes, the Bible talks about evil angels who cause chaos and destruction, but that's not what's happening here. The Bible clearly says these angels are righteous and not fallen. The angels are given bowls, and God's glory fills the temple with a cloud. This means that things happen in the spiritual world before they show up in our physical world. While earth sleeps, heaven prepares. People can predict the weather, like when it will rain or which way the wind will blow, but God's ways are different. We can't figure out how God's temple works using science. We only know these secrets because God has told us, and this knowledge can give us comfort. Many Christians need to realize they already have answers to the world's big questions, including how everything will end. Heaven's order is perfect. When this judgment starts, no one is even allowed to enter the temple of God. This shows that heaven does not take this judgment lightly. Even the angels can't go back in. Once this judgment starts, nothing can stop it. Heaven is completely prepared. The temple doors are shut, the 7 angels are ready, and people are positioned to receive these bowls. The point of no return has been reached. Then I heard a loud voice from the temple saying to the 7 angels, "Go and pour out on the earth the 7 bowls of the wrath and indignation of God." So the first angel went and poured out his bowl on the earth, and loathsome and malignant sores came on the people who had the mark of the beast and who worshipped his image. Revelation 16, 1-2. By reminding us of these plagues, these judgments show that just as God protected his people in Goshen during the plagues, he will also protect them from his judgments. God's people have protection. Everyone else has problems. Number 5, some are sealed with the mark of God. Deep in the book of Revelation lies one of the Bible's most mysterious prophecies. A group so special, so protected, so set apart that they carry God's personal seal on their foreheads like divine identification badges. But here's what will blow your mind. These aren't just any believers. These are God's special forces for the end times. Who are they? Why them? And what's their mission that's so critical it requires direct intervention from heaven itself? The book of Revelation has 3 references to a group of people numbering 144,000. Revelation 7:4 says, "And I heard how many were sealed, 144,000, 12,000 sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel." But here's the question that haunts biblical scholars. Why are they sealed? Think about it. Out of billions of people on earth, only 144,000 receive this divine protection. What makes them so special? When are the 144,000 sealed? The timing will shock you. They are sealed to be protected from future judgment, but not just any judgment, the worst period in human history. Picture this scene. The book of Revelation first mentions this group of people after 6 seals have been opened, causing misery and destruction to the earth's inhabitants. These 6 seals include representations of false prophets, war, famine, and pestilence through 4 horses, followed by a religious inquisition that led to the deaths of faithful Christians and heavenly signs. In this teaching about the future, Jesus described this time as one of great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. Matthew 24:21-22. For at that time there will be a great tribulation, pressure, distress, oppression, such as has not occurred since the beginning of the world until now, nor ever will again. And if those days of tribulation had not been cut short, no human life would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, God's chosen ones, those days will be shortened. Think about the level of destruction that would require divine intervention. But here's where it gets absolutely incredible. In the following chapter, it is explained that 4 angels who are ready to bring destruction are instructed not to harm the earth until this specific group of people has been sealed. Imagine angels of destruction being told to stop because God's people aren't protected yet. Then I saw another angel coming up from the rising of the sun, holding the seal of the living God. And with a loud voice he called out to the 4 angels to whom it was granted to have authority and power to harm the earth and the sea, saying, "Do not harm the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees until we seal, mark, the bondservants of our God on their foreheads." Even the forces of destruction must wait for God's protection plan. In the New Testament, the word sealed originates from a Greek word that means to stamp with a private mark. Like a royal signet ring, instant recognition of authority and ownership. It means to keep something hidden or protect or conserve the sealed object. But here's what most people don't understand about ancient seals. The use of seals was common in official contexts. For example, a Roman centurion would have affixed a seal to a document that was intended solely for the review of his superior. If the seal were broken, the person who received the letter would know that the letter had been altered or read by someone other than the person who had originally sealed it. God's seal works the same way. It's tamper-proof, authentic, and carries ultimate authority. We see the seal of God in the book of Revelation. Many different groups have claimed to be the 144,000. But here's the problem with that. Insight into the identity of the 144,000 from Revelation 7 and Revelation 14 can be gleaned from certain facts. Here are the 6 qualifications that eliminate most claimants. First, the group of people referred to as the children of Israel are descendants of the biblical patriarch Jacob, who was later renamed Israel. They are also known as the Israelites. Revelation 7:4. Not just any believers, specifically Israelites. Second, their tribal affiliation is specific. Revelation 7. Not just Israelites, specific tribes with specific numbers from each. Third, during the period of God's wrath, they will be protected and triumphant, and will meet Jesus at Mount Zion upon his return. Revelation 14:1. Then I looked, and this is what I saw. The Lamb stood firmly established on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 who had his name and his Father's name inscribed on their foreheads, signifying God's own possession. They get a personal meetup with Jesus on Mount Zion. Fourth, they are celibate. Revelation 14:4. These are the ones who have not been defiled by relations with women, for they are celibate. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These have been purchased and redeemed from among men of Israel as the first fruits, sanctified and set apart for special service for God and the Lamb. Total dedication. No earthly attachments. Number 5, they are the beginning of a greater harvest, the first fruits of something bigger coming. Number 6, they are marked by integrity and faithfulness. Revelation 14:5. Perfect character, unshakable loyalty. Taken together, it is difficult to argue that the 144,000 are symbolic of the church. This isn't symbolism. This is a specific literal group with a specific literal mission. They're not the church. They're not Gentile believers. They're not a spiritual metaphor. They're God's special forces. 144,000 Jewish believers, specially chosen, specially protected, and specially commissioned for the world's darkest hour. And their story is just beginning. The question isn't whether God will protect his chosen ones during the tribulation. The question is, what does their protection tell us about what's coming to everyone else? Because if God needs to supernaturally seal 144,000 people just to survive what's ahead, what does that say about the level of destruction coming to earth? Number 6, you will face death. The Bible doesn't sugarcoat it. It says plainly, I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither had received his mark. Revelation 20 verse 4. Beheaded. Executed. This isn't symbolic. This is literal. Some who refuse the mark will die for their decision. What if the price for following Jesus was your head? This won't be hidden in a dark room. This will happen in the open, enforced by a system, celebrated by a deceived world. Revelation 13:15 says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. This is a direct prophecy. No metaphors, no parables. Worship the image or be killed. This moment doesn't arrive at random. It comes after the world accepts a false Messiah known as the beast and his mark. It comes after a second beast, a false prophet, deceives the world with miracles. This isn't just about control. This is about worship. This is about loyalty. And in the beast's kingdom, loyalty to Jesus is treason. For this to happen, public execution must be legalized again. In ancient Rome, Christians were executed for refusing to say Caesar is Lord. The second beast in Revelation, also known as the false prophet, is the enforcer. He performs miracles, gives life to the image, and demands global worship. Through digital systems, surveillance, and religious unity, this false prophet will make loyalty to Christ a capital offense. People will cheer for executions. They will think they're defending peace, but they will be crucifying the truth. And behind it all, the dragon, Satan himself. Number 7, you will see the beast fall. Those that do not take the mark will reign during the millennium with Jesus. After Jesus comes back down from heaven, he will actually set up this whole new kingdom. Jesus will reign for 1,000 years, and he will bound the devil for only 1,000 years. Revelation 20 speaks in detail concerning the final state of Satan and unbelievers. Verse 7 remarks that at the end of the 1,000-year millennial kingdom, the saints live and reign for 1,000 years. And then I saw thrones, and sitting on them were those to whom judgment, that is, the authority to act as judges, was given. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of their testimony of Jesus and because of the word of God, and those who had refused to worship the beast or his image and had not accepted his mark on their forehead and on their hand. And they came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. Revelation 24. Who sits on these thrones? Perhaps the 24 elders representing the church, or the apostles, or the company of saints as a whole. This could be the judging of angels talked about in 1 Corinthians 6, 2-3. However, it's more likely that these saints are in charge here on earth. These saints will rule with Jesus for the same time that Satan is locked up, 1,000 years. They help run the kingdom of Jesus Christ on earth, overseeing those who move from the troubles of the Great Tribulation to the peace of the millennium. Everyone who wins with Jesus will rule and reign with him. 1 Corinthians 6, 2-3. Do you not know that the saints, God's people, will one day judge the world? If the world is to be judged by you, are you not competent to try trivial, insignificant, petty cases? Do you not know that we believers will judge angels? How much more then as to matters of this life? Why does John only mention the tribulation saints? These people are mentioned to encourage them and show that others won't be forgotten. This is a special recognition for those who suffered during the tribulation. They faced great pain from the Antichrist, who claimed, "I will rule the earth." Now, these faithful believers hold power while the Antichrist is defeated. These martyrs are real people, but they also stand for everyone who gives their lives for Jesus. Everyone will be brought back to life from the dead, but not everyone will have the same future. The New Testament shows that there are different resurrections for the good people and the bad people. Revelation 20 talks about a first resurrection and says the people who are part of it are blessed and holy. The rest of the dead, the non-believers, did not come to life again until the 1,000 years were completed. This is the first resurrection. Blessed, happy, prosperous, to be admired. And holy is the person who takes part in the first resurrection. Over these, the second death, which is eternal separation from God, the lake of fire, has no power or authority, but they will be priests of God and of Christ, and they will reign with him 1,000 years. Revelation 25:6. And they will come out. Those who did good things will come out to a resurrection of new life. But those who did evil things will come out to a resurrection of judgment, that is, to be sentenced. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. Then another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to what they had done as written in the books, that is, everything done while on earth. And the sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and Hades, the realm of the dead, surrendered the dead who were in them. And they were judged and sentenced, everyone according to their deeds. Revelation 20:12-13. The second resurrection is when all unbelievers are raised. This second resurrection is tied to the second death. It matches what Jesus taught about the resurrection of judgment. And they will come out. Those who did good things will come out to a resurrection of new life, but those who did evil things will come out to a resurrection of judgment, that is, to be sentenced. John 5:29. The event that separates the first and second resurrections seems to be the millennial kingdom. The last of the righteous will be raised to reign with Christ for 1,000 years, but the rest of the dead, the wicked, will not live again until the 1,000 years are over. There will be great joy at the first resurrection. There will be great sorrow at the second. What a huge responsibility we have to share the gospel. Not Badavadu. Save others, snatching them out of the fire, and on some have mercy, but with fear, loathing even the clothing spotted and polluted by their shameless, immoral freedom. Jude 23.
Many seem to be confused because they do not understand the book of Revelation. However, what if there was an animation showing the entire book? Well, we created that. And to watch that, click here.